Steady trade on the street with the Nifty holding firm above the 24,300 mark and broad indices lagging. Most sectors are upbeat today with IT, pharma, real estate stocks seeing healthy gains. PSU banks are the only sectoral laggards.
And power equipment stocks declined after the government granted a 2-year procurement exemption allowing 4 Chinese manufacturers with Indian facilities to bid for select transmission projects. The move is expected to intensify competition in extra high voltage transformers and GIC equipment.
Banks remained in focus as early Q1 updates showed credit growth continuing to outpace deposit mobilization. CSB Bank, Equitas and the Central Bank reported strong loan growth.
And NBFCs kicked off Q1 in healthy business momentum. Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Housing Finance reported strong AUM growth and robust loan disbursements, while M&M Financial delivered healthy lending growth with stable asset quality.
Avenue Supermarts reported record Q1 revenue with a steady store expansion but slipped on softer than expected growth, while Marico reiterated confidence in volume-led growth despite near-term input cost pressure.
Shares of HCL Tech gained after securing a $1 billion AI-led transformation deal from a Fortune 50 client in Europe. The multi-year engagement strengthens its order book, reinforces its AI leadership and highlights rising on enterprise demand.
Shares of PB Fintech declined after 1.16 crore shares or around 2.5% equity changed hands in 2 block deals. The transaction weighed on investor sentiment despite the absence of any company-specific operational announcement.
And Adani Enterprises increased its qualified institutional placement to 15,000 crore rupees following investor bids worth nearly 38,000 crores. The issue attracted strong participation from leading global institutions and domestic mutual funds, reflecting robust institutional confidence.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now. I'm Kavita Thapliyal and with me is my colleague Ankita Saxena, and this is 1 hour where we answer all your stock-specific questions. That's right, you can get connected with us live and talk to our experts live. All you have to do is just scan the QR code that's flashing on the screen. You will be connected to our WhatsApp number wherein you can type down your question. Write down the name of the stock, the price at which you've bought it, and you want a technical or a fundamental take from our experts. You'll be guided live on the show. And that's the QR code, and you'll be connected to our WhatsApp number. Send your questions and we'll be answering them live. But before we move on and start getting connected with our viewers and experts, let's just check what's happening in the market today. Friday really looks good on the market. Sectoral sentiment remained is positive. You can look at Nifty, almost 0.5% up. Mid-cap and small caps are also turning down into green, where small caps are showing much support, almost 0.5% up on the index, small cap 100 with mid-cap 100 being flat so far. But the market it looks very positive. IT is leading the rally. The index is also up by almost 2%. 2.5% right now, which is followed by reality, healthcare, pharma. Even the metal counters are showing action in the positive territory. Broader indices firmly trading, reflecting wire market participation. PSU banks, however, slightly under the pressure today. Consumer durables are also, showing mild weakness. Select financial services are also indicating sector-specific profit booking. But if we talk about IT, that's definitely leading the rally today in the market. PNB counter, we are looking at a decline of almost 3% in the trade. Q1 business update and global business, which is around 30 lakhs crore. So that's the impact on the stock. Okay, so we can see it down almost 1.5%. Earlier it was 3% down in the trade, and it was in focus. The bank's global advances rose almost to 12.85%. 2% year-on-year basis to 12.75 lakh crores, while global deposit has increased to 8.52% to almost 7.86 lakh crores. So that's one import. But otherwise, if we look at the top movers, let's just get you the top movers, which is Vodafone Idea, Yes Bank, which are in the green right now with almost 0.5% up trade. Union Bank of India, almost down today in the trade. I mean, we are seeing all the PSUs doing down. They're almost 1% up, Yes Bank, but Union Bank is sliding down more than 6% earlier in the trade, and yes, it's still there. Let's look at GMR Airports. That's also trading in red with almost 1% cuts on the streets today. But Zenza Technology, it's almost up 6.5% in the trade so far. We'll get a check on that as well. Earlier in the trade, the momentum was very upbeat in Zenza Technology, and right now we can see, okay, so it's beyond 7.5% now. Even Punjab National Bank, Bank of Baroda, Tata Steel. Tata Steel is also doing good owing to the metal pack action. We can definitely, that's also because of the dollar index, which has cooled down. We'll see the metals doing good, 2.5% up, Tata Steel as well so far. All right, but then let's also invite our guest on the show and let's get connecting with our viewers. We are joined by Mr. G. Chokalingam and Kunal Shah in the studio. Hi, Kunal Bothra, I'm sorry. Good morning and welcome both of you on the show. Let's just take a quick market check. Chokalingam sir, what's the market bread today like?
It's good. I mean, last few weeks, advances are more than declines, and small and mid cap segments are rallying leading this rally. I think it will continue. Monsoon also is picking up in the last 2-3 days. The deficit used to be 42% cumulatively. Now it has come down to around 35-36%. I think that would fall much lower. So that also would be positive. The single biggest trigger is oil price crash. It is down 40% almost from post-war peak. So I think India is better placed because other markets are also seeing, the severe correction in the AAA stocks. So that would give a realization to foreign investors ultimately that India offers a lot of stable sectors and a lot of domestic defensive themes, domestic demand themes. So therefore, I am quite optimistic in the short term, the recovery continuing in the market.
All right, Mr. Chokalingam, thank you so much for giving and weighing in on the markets. Let's move on and get all the stock-specific queries that you have been sending us get them answered. And let's get going with the first question that's coming in from Ganesh Bilagavi, who's writing in. He says he has NTPC Green. The entry price is 107 rupees. The question is, should he hold or should he sell? Kunal, I'll come to you. He's not given the holding period though, but his entry price is 107 rupees for NTPC Green on the charts. For the next 6 months, what should be his strategy?
See, the chart history is limited for NTPC Green. It's just, I think, maybe a few odd months of chart patterns for NTPC Green. But then I think in the recent chart history, whatever I can sense, the stock has been trending down. It looks like that the stock has not yet formed a bottom for itself. You can continue to hold on to the stock price, but I would not recommend an add.
All right, let's move on and let's take the other question. This is coming in from Mr. Vardharaja from Chennai, Bank of Baroda. The entry price is 304 and it's a long-term investment. Chokalingam sir, what would you recommend? The buy price is almost 304, but he's willing to hold on for more than a year.
I think this is not the time to panic and sell. Yes, it is very unfortunate that it has to write off, more than 5,000. I mean, my memory is right, around 5,000 crore. But that is quite manageable if you compare with the book value or market cap. And it is trading at a steep discount to its book value. So the industry tailwinds are also there. The credit growth is around 70% for the whole industry. So considering all that, I would be a buyer of Bank of Baroda at current price.
Okay, so that's the view on Bank of Baroda, but let's move on to the next question that's coming in from Venkat from Hyderabad. He says he has AB Capital. The entry price is 180 rupees. Please suggest, should I hold on to it or should I exit? Again, there is no holding period given, but he's sitting at a profit, Kunal. AB Capital, do you see further upside, or what should be his strategy? Because he's already made his profits. Should he probably book partial profits, or there is more upside and he can hold on to it?
I would recommend a hold unless you are looking at this as a short-term play or assuming if you want to just about exit the stock and then move on to something else, then it's a different ballgame altogether. But on AB Capital, the long-term charts are very attractive. Now, since you've purchased at low levels for AB Capital, you can continue to hold on. If you're looking at this potentially as, say, for the next 1 year, 2 years plus kind of a time horizon. But if you're not, and if you're looking at this purely as a short-term trading play, then I think 400, 410 range where the stock is right now could probably be a good point where you may consider to book profits. So it depends on the time frame.
All right, so a lot depends on the time frame, but then if you're continuing to hold, you should give it a shot. But then it's time for a short break, and post that we'll continue answering your stock-specific questions. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. You tune in to Buy Now, Sell Now, a show that gets all your stock-specific questions answered. The number is flashing on top of your screen, and so is the barcode, and you can write into us scanning that barcode. So let's resume with all the questions that you have been writing in. Harish Tadani, who's writing in, he says he wants to know the future of IT sector. Is it doing good for the past 4 years? Is it doing? It's not doing good for the past 4 years. I beg your pardon. Coming to you, Mr. Chokalingam, he wants to know the future of IT sector. Now, it's an interesting question because while it has seen considerable correction on the valuation front, it might look, as a value buy, a value contra buy. But as far as the future is concerned, what would you recommend? Because a lot of people are still maintaining a cautious stance despite the correction.
A very interesting question. There were 3 structural changes which led to this meltdown in the IT stocks in the last 3-4 years. IT sector exports used to grow even 30 to 50% 20-30 years ago. Gradually that came down to as low as 2 to 4% in dollar term recently. So because of the base effect, the base has grown from few $1 billion in 90s to $200 billion recently, the export base of IT revenues in dollar term. So that is one structural change because you cannot grow such a large base in strong double digit. The second structural change, in contrast to economic theory, because the theory says, rupee, the currency depreciation promotes exports, but that is proven to be wrong across the world, including India. Despite massive depreciation of rupee in the last 20-25 years, that has not helped in IT sector companies to improve the margin. Third structural change is the AI disruption, which all of us know. So going forward, at best, the industry will grow 0 to 2%, or it can be even minus 2%. So one has to live with this fact and reality. Therefore, I don't think there is a contra value buy. This is, the wealth creation story is over in my firm view. But of course, there will be a couple of stocks which may do well. The companies which integrate AI aggressively, the companies which can become a target of large IT companies in the small mid-cap space. So those are 1 or 2 stocks can become a winner, but otherwise I am quite negative on the whole sector.
Okay, so that's the entire fundamental take on the IT pack. But then we're also joined by a live viewer, Mr. Subrata from Kolkata. Hi, good morning, sir.
Good morning. I'm Subrata Mukherjee from Kolkata. My question is, I want to buy About India now at this price for medium term, 6 to 12 months investment view. Please advise.
Perfect. Kunal, would you like to go?
Yeah, even I think that's a good price where you can look to enter the stock price over here at 25,800 where it's trading right now, because it's there are 2 advantages to this, or 2 positives on the charts. One is that the stock has come back to the previous bottoms or the supports which it had tested in the month of April, May. That's 26,000 levels, or 25,700 to be precise. And then on the indicator fronts, you're seeing the RSI showing signs of potential divergence or maybe signs of bottoming out. So even that could be an advantage to the stock price. So with a 3-6 months plus kind of a time horizon, I think it's a good price point where you can look to enter Abbott.
All right. Let's move on, and let's move on to the next question that's coming in from Ramya from Bengaluru. He says that he has Samvardhana Motherson International, and the entry price is 119 rupees. What should he do? Should he hold or sell again? There's no time horizon that's written in. But I'll come to you, Kunal. Can we if check the charts for Samvardhana? and find out whether there is a certain upside, he's sitting at a profit, what should he do?
I'll recommend a hold on Samvardhan Motherson. So, it's now the wave of the entire auto anch names which are looking very attractive on the charts. You've seen so many auto anch stocks hitting fresh 52-week highs, lifetime highs, as the case could be. And even for Samvardhan Motherson, the stock has been looking very attractive. It's already made a fresh lifetime highs, I think, a couple of weeks back. Now trading at 150 levels there, just about thereabout for the point. And, historically, the stock, whenever it's given, at least one strong quarter of results, it's been followed by at least 3-4 quarters of a consistent price uptrend. So in that anticipation, at least for the next 2 or 3 quarters, I'll suggest a hold.
For next 2 or 3 quarters, it's a hold in Samvardhana Motherson. Let's move on. The next question is coming in from Mr. Shankar from Coimbatore. And the stock is Galaxy Surfactants and entry price is 3062. Just want to know if at this rate one can hold or sell. Well, Kunal, any averaging strategy? Do you recommend a hold because he's in losses?
See, I think, the stock on the short to medium term charts is still showing signs of some stability after a major correction. I think 2021 high for the stock was 3,400, 500, and the recent low for the stock was around 1,500 mark. So it's corrected more than 50%. Time-wise, price-wise, major correction has happened. So I will suggest that maybe just wait for some more time. Let the stock show signs of confirmation of the first breakout level. That's around 2,100 mark for Galaxy Surfactants. If the stock manages to break past about 2,100 levels, that's where I would suggest that you can consider to average out.
Okay. Let's move on then to the next question. This is coming in from Mahalakshmi from Hyderabad. Mahalakshmi says that she has Shriram Finance and the entry price is 702 rupees. Can I book partial or full profits and invest in E2E network or GC Power for the long term? Please advise. Mr. Chokalingam, coming to you. She's made a profit on Shriram Finance and she wants to know if she can book partial profit or complete profits and then perhaps invest that money in E2E networks and CG Power, say for the period of next 1 to 2 odd years. Would you recommend that?
E2E, technology company, I am not comfortable at all. CG Power is a great company for long term. One can consider, particularly on declines. Shriram Finance, I would say a strong hold on decline buy because it is trading at around 2.8 times price to adjusted book value, which I find very attractive because many reputed finance companies are trading about 3.5 times. So I think, I would not give sell call on Shriram Finance. Among these three, Shriram Finance is the best stock in my view, followed by CG Power on declines.
Okay, let's move on. The other question is coming in from Kannan and Transrail Lighting. Entry price is 584 and he wants both fundamental as well as a technical view, and also should he be adding more at this price. So let's take a technical take from Kunal. Kunal, would you recommend to buy more at this rate?
Not really. I'll suggest to just hold on to your existing quantity because you seem to have purchased at 584. The stock is at 520 approximately. It's not far off from your buy price. However, I think at the same time, the stock has not yet gone into a major bottom formation. Even though the bottom has been tested 3 times, the only thing which is lacking is volumes, because generally what happens is after 2-3 attempts towards the same price point, the volumes start to increase, and that gives us a sense that maybe a bottom could be in place. So I'll be on a bit of a wait and watch mode over here. We'll just suggest to hold on to the existing stock. In case if there is a resurgence in terms of volumes, that's where I would suggest that could be a good price point where the stock may show signs of confirmation of bottom out, and then an uptrend can begin.
All right, so hold on to buy more. But Chokalingam sir, what's going to be your long-term view?
Good. Of course, to severe correction in the stock price, valuation is comfortable. And also, if you look at last 3 year or 5 year, the profit growth is quite impressive. So I would give a buy call on Transrail Lighting.
All right, up next, let's move on to an exclusive roundup of the week's key developments from Maharashtra in a Maharashtra 360.
From transformative policy initiatives and governance reforms to strategic infrastructure, economic development and public welfare measures, from technology-driven administration to decisions focused on strengthening Maharashtra's long-term growth and citizen-centric development. Here's a comprehensive look at the week's biggest updates from across the state. This is Maharashtra 360. Maharashtra has announced the largest farm loan waiver in its history with a package around 36,585 crore rupees aimed at providing debt relief to nearly 56 lakh farmers across the state. Announcing the landmark decision, Chief Minister Fadnavis said that the waiver is intended to restore financial stability to farming families, reduce the burden of agricultural debt, and also strengthen the rural economy ahead of the upcoming sowing season. Along with Deputy CMs Eknath Shinde and Sunitra Pawar, the Chief Minister said that the government's approach goes beyond immediate relief and focuses on building a stronger, more resilient agricultural sector through structural reforms and sustained farmer welfare initiatives.
कारण आमच्याकरता कर्जमाफी हा राजकीय विषय नाही. आमच्याकरता कर्जमाफी ही शेतकऱ्यांकरता एक आपल्याला आमचा शेतकरी जगला पाहिजे, आमच्या शेतकऱ्याला पुन्हा कर्ज घेण्याची शक्ती प्राप्त झाली पाहिजे याकरताचं एक इन्स्ट्रुमेंट, एक उपकरण म्हणून आम्ही कर्जमाफीकडे पाहतो.
The Maharashtra government says that the historic loan waiver marks the beginning of a broader agricultural transformation where financial relief will be complemented by legislative reforms, farmer outreach, and sustained implementation aimed at building a debt-free, resilient, and a more prosperous rural economy across the state of Maharashtra. Maharashtra's focus on education, skill development, and employment for Maratha youth came into focus as Chief Minister Fadnavis addressed a Sarthi felicitation program in Pune for successful UPSC, MPSC, and other competitive examination candidates. Calling Sarthi a key driver of youth empowerment, he said that the government's policy combines education, competitive exam coaching, entrepreneurship, skill development, and emerging technologies. Deputy CM Sunitra Pawar also described Sarthi as a powerful movement for social transformation as well as youth empowerment. Maharashtra is all set to become the first state in the country to deploy a dedicated AI platform for governance, with Chief Minister Fadnavis unveiling the Maha AI, Maharashtra Hub for Advanced Artificial Intelligence initiative. The Chief Minister said that Maha AI will make government functioning faster, more accurate, and citizen-centric. Now developed by the National Informatics Center and hosted by the Maharashtra State Data Center, the platform will ensure complete data sovereignty, privacy, as well as security. The government plans to roll out Maha AI across departments and integrate it with major e-governance platforms to further strengthen digital administration. And the Maharashtra government has also announced a major infrastructure initiative for the historic Raigad Fort, with Deputy CM Eknath Shinde declaring that a dedicated gravity-based drinking water supply project will receive approval and state funding to permanently address the fort's long-standing water scarcity concern. Now, speaking at the 353rd Shivrajyabhishek celebrations, Shinde said that the government remains committed to preserving as well as developing Raigad, describing it as a sacred symbol of Swarajya and the pride of Maharashtra. Referring to the delayed monsoon, he also assured the farmers at the event that the state government will provide all necessary support in the event of agricultural distress, while also reiterating that the Maji Ladki Bahin Yojana will continue uninterrupted. The Deputy CM also said that the government will continue efforts to conserve as well as strengthen Maharashtra's historic forts as part of the state's cultural as well as heritage legacy. Maharashtra statewide pulse polio immunization campaign was also formally launched by Deputy CM Sunitra Pawar at the Punya Shlok Ahilya Devi Government Hospital in Baramati. Marking the beginning of the drive, she administered polio drops to young children and appealed to parents across the state of Maharashtra to ensure that every child below the age of 5 receives the life-saving vaccine. Stressing that a polio-free India reflects the true objective of the campaign, the Deputy CM also said that just 2 drops can protect children from the disease and help secure a healthier future. And those were all the updates we would pack for you in this edition of Maharashtra 360. Until next week, take care.
You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now. We're answering your stock-specific question. This question is coming in from Prasanna, and he's from Chennai. The stock name is bnsn Solution, and entry price is 230. Kunal, what would you recommend?
I'll recommend to hold on to the stock as of now. It's a very high beta name. Apparently, it's just that in the last 2-3 months, the stock seems to have shown signs of good support at 200-230 range. It's been stuck into this 30-point band for the last few months. Maybe I think the stock would probably take some bit of more time to try and break out of this 230 barrier. But whenever it does, I would suggest that the stock would come back into the thick of momentum. So since you've purchased at a price which is very close to the current market price, I'll suggest a hold.
All right. Brain B is a hold call by Kunal, but let's move on to the next question. Ekam Barai, who's writing in from Hyderabad, he says he has NCC. Entry price is 203 and the time horizon is 1 year. Do you suggest to average at the current price, Kunal? Good time to average in, or should he average in the first place? And what should be his strategy for the next 1 year?
It's a good stock. The stock has a very good history, I think, from being a stock which was just 30-40 rupees in 2020 to being a stock which went up to 10x. And from those 350 levels, it's corrected almost 50%. So time-wise, price-wise, the stock has done reasonably well. And it's a good zone where you can consider to average out NCC. The only thing which you have to remember is that you have to consider this as a long-term investment. And for this, you need to have a time frame of at least 18 to 24 months, if not more.
A time frame of 18 to 24 months recommended NCC. Let's move on. Next question is coming in from Satya. And stock is RHI Magnesita India. I'm not sure if Chokalingam sir, are you holding this? Do you have a coverage on this? He's been holding this since very long and wants to switch to Greaves Cotton or any metal ETF for a medium-term outlook.
It used to be a great company, no doubt about it, but the valuation is not comfortable. Trading at over 70p on trailing basis, which doesn't give any comfort in the stock at current price. And also in FY26, it made a good amount of losses. On a trailing basis, 70p. So both considered, I am upper range of recommending the stock.
All right, let's move on to the next query. It's a live phoner query now, and the guest is joining us. Mr. Bala from Coimbatore is joining us. Hi, good morning, Mr. Bala. Thank you so much for calling us.
Hi, good morning. I've been following Chokalingam sir for quite some time now. Just had a query regarding Union Bank holding 1,000 share at 170. Just looking for the next 6 to 12 months.
Okay, coming to you, Mr. Chokalingam. His entry price is 170. Union Bank, he's sitting at a loss right now. But for the next 1 year, would you give a hold call?
No, it is even a buy because it is trading close to book value. As I already mentioned, the industry tailwinds are very strong. But market perception is not in favor of this kind of PSU bank. So the risk doesn't come from fundamental values or valuation, but rather it comes from the PE, which is not getting in favor these kind of PSU banks. But fundamentally speaking, it's a very good stock to hold.
Okay, next question is again a WhatsApp question coming in from Madhu from Tirupati. RR Kabel is the question and the stock buy price is 2532. Okay, I think it's a short-term outlook that's been asked for. Kunal?
See, I'll suggest to book profits over here for RR Kabel because it looks like that the stock has come back into a little bit of a saturation on the short-term trend. Short-term wise, I would expect the stock to start moderating at the current level. So maybe a time-wise, price-wise consolidation is what could follow the stock in the very short term. I'll suggest to book profits.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Manoj Makija is writing in from Mumbai, says, should I buy Gujarat Gas today? Kunal, he wants to buy Gujarat Gas today. Good levels to enter, or what should be the entry price?
So I would suggest an entry price which should be sub 675 levels for Gujarat Gas. The stock seems to be correcting in the last 7-8 days. The correction has gotten a little bit more intense for Gujarat Gas from 850 levels to now 740 where it's trading right now. So I'll suggest to just wait for maybe another one more round of correction. Ideally in this scenario, a trade below 50 DMA, which in the current case is 675 for Gujarat Gas, could be a better entry point.
All right, next question is coming in from Dulal Mitra from Kolkata, Karnataka Bank. And the entry price for this is 240, 6 to 12 months is the time frame. Chokulingam sir, would you like to go?
Definitely, we have a buy recommendation. Before that, we have invested personally also in line with the compliance. I am extremely optimistic on Karnataka Bank, still trading at a 17% discount to adjusted book value, very rare to see. It has improved asset quality in the last 5 years substantially. And a couple of days back, it published business numbers for Q1. The credit continues to grow at a strong double-digit rate of more than 16%. So all this gives me a lot of confidence in Karnataka Bank. I believe in short term itself, it may possibly reward the investors.
All right, let's move on. Shirish is writing in from Mumbai. He says Lemon Tree is stock that he's holding, and the entry price is 115 rupees. Should he hold or should he sell? Kunal, coming to you, he's sitting at a loss there. Lemon Trees, what should be his strategy? Should he average in or should he sell and cut his losses now?
I guess I think he's sitting in good profits over here for the stock price from 115 to 120 thereabouts. But I would suggest to hold on to the stock as of now. The reason for that is two front. One is that the stock is on the verge of a breakout on the swing chart. So I think 120, 122 is apparently the major resistance zone. It looks like that the stock could probably eke out a breakout this time around. The second, the more important part is when you look at the peers also, the likes of Indian Hotels, etc., these stocks have been recovering very well for themselves. So even if there is a scope of a recovery further for the hospitality-related stocks or hotel names, I would believe that Lemon Tree can perform very well over the short term. I'll suggest a hold on the stock price. My potential target in the near term, assuming that the breakout happens very quickly, would be in the range of at least 130, 135.
All right, so he's considerable profit that Lemon Tree is sitting at, and he should perhaps hold on to it. It's on a verge of a breakout. So that's Lemon Tree on the charts, but let's move on to the next one coming in from Mr. Reddy from Bengaluru. He says he's joining us on the phone line, and let's get connected with him. Mr. Reddy, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for connecting. My query is actually HBL Power Systems. I bought it on 815.67 for 41 quantity. Yeah. So even though quarter four results are very good, actually the stock is beaten up a little low. So as fundamentals are also very strong, actually I bought this. So I want to know for the long-term investment, 2 to 3 years, can I hold it or can I sell it and look for another counter? I wish to know.
Mr. Chokulingam, I'll come to you. He wishes to hold it for the longer term, but would that be a hold from your end, or should he probably sell it and get into some other sector or counter that you would recommend?
It's a good stock coming from good management. ROC is very impressive. Last 5-year growth, profit revenue also very impressive. Slightly stretched valuation at 27p on trading basis. One can hold it. If it declines, one can buy also. But the only thing is on a quarterly basis, one has to evaluate the order procurement of this company, to remain invested for the long term. But otherwise, yes, it's a hold, buy on decline.
All right, let's move on. And this question is coming in from Arun, again from Kolkata. And holding Schneider accumulated during last 5 years and wants to hold it for next 1 to 2 years. Chokulingam sir, what's going to be your view on this?
If it falls further, 10-15% only, I will be comfortable because it is trading at around 150 PE. I am not comfortable with the kind of valuation. It's a great company, great achievement, but valuation is highly stretched.
All right, let's move on then to the next question. Ram is writing in from Hyderabad. He says he has PI Industries and the entry price is 10 rupees. He wants to know if he can average in on the stock. Kunal, PI Industries, is this the right time to average in?
Yeah, I would suggest it's a good price point to average out at 2600 levels for PI Industries, and it looks like that maybe the stock can come back towards at least the midpoint of the recent price range, which is around 2850 mark, 2900 levels. So if you're looking to average further to reduce the cost price and bring it down to around 2800 levels, there could be a good chance where you may come out with break even on the stock price, assuming if there's some kind of a rally into the stock price in the next few weeks.
All right, with that, it's time for a short break also, but post that also, we're answering your stock-specific questions. So stay tuned and scan the QR code. Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now, and it's time to answer our other viewers' question coming in from WhatsApp. This is Mr. Rakesh Gupta from New Delhi, and he's got two stocks, and both the questions are pointed to Kunal. So first is Bosch, and the entry price is 37250, 37250. And then Tata Power, again, the entry price over here is 383. Okay, so assuming it's a short-term strategy that he's opted for, Kunal, what's going to be your advice?
See, for Bosch, definitely a hold. I think, the auto anch names have been doing fabulously well. We've been discussing this earlier also. And I would sense that in that sense, Bosch, I think, has been a spectacular chart. It's shown very good movement in the last 3 months, moving from 30,000 levels to 42,000 plus mark, trading at an all-time high levels. I think is just exemplary. And the fact that you've purchased at slightly lower prices gives you the buffer to hold on to the stock price. Tata Power, on the other hand, I would not suggest an averaging out, even though I think the stock price is lower. The bigger concern for Tata Power is that the stock has fallen below the 200 DMA. And, historically, we've seen that whenever the stock falls into those 200-day moving average, it is not the major price correction, but it's the time-wise pause or the correction which the stock goes into. So I'll suggest to just hold on to Tata Power as of now. It's a good quality name. We've seen the kind of wealth the stock has generated over the long term. But price-wise, if you're looking to average out, I would suggest averaging out only once the stock crosses above 400 levels.
All right, let's move on then to the next question. This is Jay Krishnan writing in from Kerala. He wants to know at what level can I enter Maruti, Ultratech and Apollo Hospital for 6 to 9 months. Kunal, he wants the entry levels for Maruti, Ultratech and Apollo Hospital.
See, Maruti, I would suggest current levels is good enough for you to enter 14,400 levels for Maruti at the current juncture, because it looks like the stock is on the verge of a breakout, and I think very few auto stocks are on the verge of a breakout in the similar sense. Ultratech Cement also, I think, at 11,600 where it's trading right now, it's completing a bullish flag formation on the charts. It's just on the verge of breaking its 200 DMA, and if that happens, you might probably expect the stock to move towards 12,000, 12,500, which should be a decent return for a 6 months time frame. And for the third one, which is Apollo Hospital, that stock has been doing very well for itself. I think Apollo Hospital has been one of the better performers in the hospital space in the recent past, because there's been slight edge of performance of the stock with respect to Fortis and such other names. So not suggest a buy in Apollo Hospital at the current juncture. Wait for a minor pullback. Even if it comes back to 8,500 levels, that's a good price point where you may consider to enter.
All right. So hold. That's the advice. Next question is coming in from Mahesh. He's from Bangalore. He wants to buy Hitachi Energy. Okay, I'm not sure of the time frame, but let's look at a technical and a fundamental take. Kunal, buy price? See, if it's a buy call that you're recommending.
Yeah, so I think Hitachi is a wonderful stock on the long-term basis. It's done very well. But somehow over the last 1 month, the stock is showing signs of bearish RSI divergences, some selling pressure which has emerged into the stock price. I'll not suggest a buy at the current levels. My sense is that in this leg of price trend, the stock can possibly come back towards its 200-day moving average. That level is around 25,000 to maybe price adjusted, time adjusted, it could be 26,000 levels for Hitachi Energy. So if you're looking to buy, I'll suggest to wait for at least another 10% correction than the current market price.
All right, 25 to 26,000, that's the price that you can use to enter. But Chokalingam sir, what's going to be your strategy for long term?
It's a great MNC, great technology company, great financial performance. Last 3 years, profit growth is almost 100% also on an average. But the valuation is a concern, trading at around 150p on trading basis. So at best, one can hold it. I would not recommend a buy at current level, but at best, one can hold the stock.
Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Nikhil Sharma writing in from Mumbai. He says he has LIC. The entry price is 440 rupees. When is the right time to exit the stock, or is it better to hold on? Kunal, he wants to know if he should be exiting this stock, LIC, or should he hold on to it, say, for the next 1 year?
Is this LIC India or LIC Housing?
He's not mentioned actually if it's LIC. He's just written LIC. Let's take LIC India in that case.
Okay, so on LIC India, again, I think the reason for LIC not being performing, I think is because of the fact that the entire insurance pack at large, I think has been a more of a sideways performer sector over the last many months or a couple of quarters at least. And to add to the fact that not just LIC, but even the likes of HDFC Life and ICICI Pru, etc., these stocks have gone a little bit more sideways. So LIC is a good stock to hold on to long-term wise since you've purchased at the closer to the current market price for the stock price. I'll suggest a hold as of now. If you're looking to average, I think 385, 375 is a good price band where you can consider averaging out for LIC.
Okay, let's move on. Another question is from Dinesh from Noida, wants to accumulate ITC for long term, and he's actually looking for good dividend income. Chokalingam sir.
I think it's a very good stock for long term, medium to long term. It is unfortunate it is underperforming, but I am very optimistic that the stock will do well in the next 1 to 3 years. The cigarette, duty hike, the management is gradually passing on to the customer. Ultimately, fully it will be passed on in 1 to 1.5 years. Second, FMCG business is growing. They are building a very big top line. And in agri sector also, they are making a lot of improvement on digital technology platform. So considering all that, I believe this is a very attractive price for considering investment in ITC for medium to long term.
That's the view on ITC. Let's move on to the next one. Shrikant is writing in from Hyderabad. He says he is holding Eternal. The entry price is 62 rupees. The question is, can I hold it for the next 10 years or should I hold up book profits? Oh my God. Clearly, he's held it for a very long time. From 62 to now where Eternal is sitting at. But he wants to know whether he should book partial profits or he wants to hold it for the next 10 years. Mr. Chokalingam, what would you recommend here?
Yeah, very interesting question. I don't think even analysts with the 4 decades of experience can vouch for a 10-year prospect of digital companies. Very difficult. I'm not saying company will not be there. The risk is very high in forecasting because we have seen in the last 30 years how the technology-driven companies had a huge volatility. So, but in the short term, one can hold it because the sales are growing and the stock has corrected a lot. What are the index? Passive funds can keep investing. So for a tactical reason, I am recommending for the short term.
Okay, but quickly let me come to Kunal also because this is a very interesting question. Kunal, it is how people are not booking their profits because he's clearly missed out the 350 levels that Eternal had touched. Do you recommend booking partial profits now? And I mean, if the time horizon is so so long that he wants to hold it for the next 10 years?
Yeah, 10 years is a good time frame to hold on to long-term wise, and I'll suggest a hold. The stock which went through, I think, a major correction, right, from the start of listing towards a point of huge resurrection for the stock price. That tells you that it could be a good long-term story which could emerge. Of course, fundamentals would probably govern the price trends on the longer-term basis, but whatever we've seen over the last 2-3 years for Zomato Eternal, I think indicates that the long-term trend should be on the positive side. I'll suggest a hold.
So it's a hold again from both of our experts, and with that it's a wrap. Thank you so much both of you for being on the show and helping our viewers with the stock specific questions. But for our viewers, Indian enterprises are racing to scale AI, but the real question now is who controls the data, the models and the infrastructure behind it. Digital sovereignty has moved from a compliance checkbox to a boardroom priority. To unpack what this means for India Inc., Aisha Faridi caught up with Sandeep Patel, MD, IBM India and South Asia on the interview.
Sandeep, Indian enterprises have been running AI pilots for the better part of 2 years now. But the leap from pilot to scaled deployment is where most organizations are stuck. In your experience across the India and South Asia market, what is the single biggest barrier holding enterprises back from that transition?
So I truly believe that, if you are not scaling AI, I think you're just sitting there as an observer while the industry is rewiring. So I think the time for scaling is now. However, what we hear from executives and enterprises today is that there are a few key areas which are stopping them from scaling AI. First is just understanding, where to start and the kind of use cases to pick. I think people oscillate between getting too esoteric to making it too simple. But I think getting it more practical and picking things that you can actually make an impact with, either in your own organization or in how you serve your customers or how you maybe improve your business processes, that's where you need to sort of start and scale things that can get adopted very, very quickly. So that's one piece of the equation. Second is, I think, trust. Trust is huge because here you are using data to make better decisions, make automated decisions, and so on. So ensuring that you're doing that, A, with the right data provenance, doing it with the right governance around the data and others is really important. And third, it is ensuring that you are doing this with the right kind of controls in place that is enabling you to meet with the regulations and others of the land. And underlying all of this is ensuring that you have the right skills to do this, both skills at a managerial level to make sure that you are picking the right use cases and driving adoption at scale. But secondly, also getting the right skills that can actually help you scale this technology.
But, trust somewhere, Sandeep, also brings me to digital sovereignty, a term that's sort of gaining real traction as we speak. But it means different things to different people, I guess. I mean, for a large Indian enterprise, a bank, an insurer, a PSU, tell me, what does digital sovereignty actually mean in practice? And why has it moved from a compliance checkbox to a strategic priority, according to you?
Yeah, so let me try and define what at least I'm seeing digital sovereignty evolve. And this is not just in India. I think this is around the world. I think for years, digital sovereignty discussions were primarily focused around data residency, or at least it was used as a proxy for data residency. Can we protect our own data? Do we have the right controls built around that and so on? But AI has fundamentally changed that model. So as a result, sovereignty today extends beyond where data resides to include A, who operates the platform under which authority. Where are the AI models run and how is the AI inference, how is that governed? Who has administrative access and how is it enforced? How can compliance be demonstrated continuously, for the regulators and not just be documented? And all of this, I think, has become a lot more relevant today in the geopolitical scenarios that we live in. So I think, as we talk to enterprises, not just in India, but around the world, these are the kind of questions that are coming up. And there's a reason, right? Growing regulatory and technological demands are driving adoption of these sovereign solutions.
All right, and let's take a rain check then. Heavy rains continued to lash Mumbai for a fourth straight day, disrupting road and rail traffic across Mumbai metropolitan region. The IMD has retained an orange alert for Mumbai, Thane and Palghar, warning of rain to be very heavy. While high tide this afternoon could worsen waterlogging in low-lying areas, my colleague Prakash is now joining us with a ground report from Matunga.
The third incident is reported from Thane district, where a lady was 42 years old. She was 42 years old and she went out to buy food and grocery items. At that time, there was a wire which was in the water and a lady got electrocuted over there, and this whole incident took place. She has two children, and there were many complaints which was made a few days ago regarding the wire which fell into the road, and after the waterlogging took place at Dombivli, there was this situation took place. The local are continuously trying to contact the Nagarpalika, but no one came, and that's why this entire situation took place, and incident took place where a 42-year-old woman lost her life. So this will be negligence by the government. This is the negligence by the Nagarpalikas, and this type of instances has happened in Mumbai and the neighboring cities as well. In Mumbai, yesterday we had seen a 60-year-old man fell into the open manhole and lost his life. With that, 2 days ago in Navi Mumbai, two person was dead because of the electric wire which fell into the road and electricity was passed in the water. This three instances which has happened is completely the negligence of the administration and the government, and after this incident is happening, there are suspension which is happening. This is of no use now because before the monsoon every year BMC and other Nagarpalikas of Maharashtra says that they are preparing for monsoon, but no preparation take place and this type of incident happens. So this is a clear case of negligence happening in Mumbai and Maharashtra.
All right, thank you so much for that update, and with that it's a wrap on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now also, but you stay tuned. We are getting markets at noon after this break.